Hi guys, my name is Barslund and today we're going to talk about scale. To do that, we need to go into the city, we need to get to Copenhagen. I want to show you a couple of buildings in there, made by the same studio at 2 different times. This is going to be really interesting, so let's get on a trip. So I just want to tell you a bit about the mission here today. My idea is that it doesn't really matter what kind of house you have. So it's much more about perception and how a building can actually lead you and accommodate you and come down to your level and your scale, which is the human scale. So this film is about how a Danish architecture firm actually did this. So let's get going.
I like to move real close after waking up, mesmerized by your breathing, how you're holding on. Remember the day we first met and the love we found, dancing in the darkness, I won't let you run. In your arms I can't get close enough, when you're around I get butterflies that never stop.
So the thing with this building is that it's circular, and that means that it really does work much more on symbolism than it does with the site and with the people living in it. It's you could call it a wall, or you could call it an enclosure that defends outwards and gives love inwards, or whatever you like, whatever kind of symbol you want to put into it.
What can I do? Falling for you.
What it's lacking is it's by all means it's one of the greater buildings in Copenhagen. It's a really beautiful piece of architecture, and the idea with the boxes sticking in and out does give it some texture and does give it something unique to it. The issue is that it doesn't really adhere to the site at all. A circle does not do anything good for the site. It does not engage with the site. For the people living in it, it's really hard to figure out where do you come in and where do you come out. So you need a lot of signage, which means that you get a building that you need to read your way around more than you need to feel it with your body and with your senses and your perception. I want to show you another project done by the same studio just some years later. It's actually pretty new here in Copenhagen, and I believe it's one of the most beautiful office spaces and buildings and objects in Copenhagen at the moment, at least. Here the studio are working with circles again. So let's go there and have a look at that.
Thinking I was stuck here, but deep down I can tell it's wrong. Feeling you now, take me, breathing you now. Oh, taking me down. Oh, feeling you now. You take me down.
We're going to talk about the building which is right over here, just across the street. Have a look. So the main thing about this building is actually the scale, and that the circles are, we're not talking about just one big circle now. Now we're talking about a lot of smaller circles in different sizes. And that means that for the studio that planned this out, now they can start to actually work with the environment. They can make the building fit into the place where it's actually put. which means that it becomes site-specific in a way. It starts to have a relation to the environment. It starts to making small piazzas out in front of it, and it starts to be able to open up in the middle of it, so you can actually access it from a lot more points. This is actually an elevator tower, and the elevator tower actually comes down, so it's almost in size with us. And that means that this little building here is actually talking to this little building over here, which is, you know, as they have the same kind of expression and the same kind of materials, they're talking to this one, the big one up there, and the even bigger one up here. So this little building here is actually taking us all the way up, showing us that the building actually comes down to greet us in a small door like that. That's why the scale of a building, whether it's an office building or a home for people like you and I, the human scale is actually what matters. And you can use that in the buildings, and you can make the buildings actually come down and receive you and invite you inside just by looking at the scale of the entrance. That's it for now. If you like the video, please subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, give me a like, leave some comments, and I'll see you in the next one.